the Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy, you're invited.
Read. Verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Believe in Him, and He will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in Him. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for His mercy, and go not aside lest ye fall.
Go not aside lest you fall. So the baptism, folks, is just the beginning of the path. It's going through the purging, which is the completion of this first step. And once you get through that, the Most High gives you your ideas of what part you have in the ministry to be a what? An effective part of Christ's body. But if you're not going through the purge like Christ did, you don't understand what it means to do the work. You don't understand the purpose unless you're purged. And now you're able to execute the gift that was given to you in real time, which produces and shows itself forth for all in the earth to see. But you must go through this transformation first. The same way in the flesh, you went through a transformation with a physical birth. Then you began to walk. Then you began to talk. Then you learned whatever purpose you would have in this earth. Well, if you're now making an agreement with Christ, He must bring you like a baby and take you through those same steps in the Spirit.
Praise the Most High. Praise the Most High.
And where we gonna rise up and repent from our good ways? Don't wait, I beg the valley, stand up. I promise you will be okay. When are we gonna rise up and repent from our good?
Let's do it from the beginning.
When you go into the water and come back up, the old man dies and you come back up new. Just like how Christ came back new. Read?
That, like as Christ was raised from the dead by the glory of the Father, even so we also should walk in newness of life.
And where we gonna rise up and repent from our good ways? Don't wait, I beg the valley, stand up. I promise you will be okay. When are we gonna rise up and repent from our good?
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. So much we're going to dive into today. All praises be to the Most High. Let's go. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Let's do it. Come on.
The East is where we're from.
Come on.
The 12 tribes of Israel.
In 721 BC.
721 BC.
Hit that like button.
The
Tawada,
Assyrian
Maria.
king, he took us down, we fell. With the great escape we went through the Euphrates. The Lord held the water still.
Blessings, brothers. Hit the like button, brothers and sisters. Ladies and gentlemen.
We went, the 12 tribes of Israel.
That's who we be, we be.
Manasseh, the Cubans, Ephraim from Puerto Rico,
Naphtali from the Isles of Hawaii.
the Lord is calling back Israel. Babylon from Panama, Gad, the North American Indians,
Simeon,
the Dominicans,
our highest gathering Israel.
the Arabs and Africans told us.
To gather our wives and children, then sold us. Hit that like button. Come on.
Of these great ships we traveled and fed. By the rivers of Babylon we found our brothers here.
A higher gatherer. Whoa.
Reuben from Australia. Issachar, the Mexicans.
Issachar the Mexicans. We're the elders of the Gathering of Christ Church here with our weekly broadcast every Wednesday on The Watch. And I couldn't find a better time than this evening, Wednesday evening, to bring in Rawchaa. The elders are here. All praises be to the Most High. Hey, Wednesday night used to be a deep night, especially over in the UK. Dropping what? The search engine. But guess what? It's all deeper. It's a way deeper spirit in the name of Ahia Bashim Yeshaya, Rawchaa on this journey. Hey, for years, there's been many things that we've encountered since the inception of this church, but the Most High have worked through the leadership as well as the brethren and sisters who have endured to do what? To build a foundation and preparation for what's about to go down. Hence the reason, brothers and sisters, I had to bring in Rawchaa tonight. I had to bring him in tonight, and I'm going to tell you what. The man went from not believing anything at all, and I started doing some research on these radio shows, the black urban shows, and that's where Rawchaa came in, not believing in the Bible or God at all. What was that? It seems like it doesn't matter whether it be in the United States, the UK, or any Western world country where our people reside, they have black radio or urban radio. And it's almost the same model. The same model. You go into the radio station, everyone is talking about everything they would like outside of really what the community needs, as if it's a political, not a spiritual, a political mouthpiece of control over the black communities, whether it be in America or the UK. I seen a common thread. Another thing I seen is that they're more so established, more so towards what? Adverts and what the advertisers want, more so than what our people need. But yet they roll it out to everyone as if these radio stations is a place for unity, to unite the black community, and it was set up to do what? The exact reverse. What is that? What type of model is that? We're going to talk about that a little later. But guess what? I wanted to bring in GOCC because why? This is what's going on in the earth, and I started out with what? I started out with, hold on, make sure I got everything here. I don't want to miss anything here. I started out, brothers and sisters, let me get it here. I started it out with, let me show you here, the baptisms. I started that out with the baptisms, showing that this is going on throughout the four corners of the earth. And I thank all the men of the Most High, the women of the Most High who have endured, so that we can bring souls to the Almighty. What are we witnessing here? What are we witnessing? Okay, let me show more. Let me show more. Not just that video. I showed the video earlier, but there's some other things I wanted to show. Right? Let me pull it up here. Not just that one. Let me pull this out here, because I'm going to show y'all exactly. Here it is right here. Boom. Look at that right there. Pow. Folks, tell me the Most High isn't gathering Israel throughout the four corners of the earth. Our first baptism in Tokyo. In Tokyo. Servants of the Almighty, adding souls to Christ's kingdom. Yeah, And this gospel shall be preached throughout the four corners of the earth, and then the end shall come. You have the Anu tribe, who went into Asia, into different parts of Japan and China from the diaspora when the 10 tribes left Samaria. We have found our brothers and sisters who were baptized, who's going to what? Spearhead the ministry in Asia before it's over. And we thank the servants who have stood tight to save souls despite all of the roadblocks and anything that can come in to attempt to deter the work of the Most High. More souls have come to Christ. How you doing, elders? How y'all doing? Elder Lawya, talk to me.
Shalom, sir. I'm doing well. Doing well. Glad to be here. How about yourself?
I am blessed by the Almighty. The reason why I have them on an open microphone, because I wanted to make sure we can all hear each other. All right? Because I have GOCC coming through Zoom. Blessings, GOCC. How are you?
Shalom, elders. Blessings, man. Praise the Most High. Good to be here. Ready to go. Ready to go.
Blessings, blessings. And how's the family?
Hey, man. Everyone's blessed, man. Praise the Most High.
All right. And you know what it does to me, my brother, when I see souls going into that water, making that agreement with Christ.
Yes.
When I say,
well,
go ahead.
Just a correction. The sisters, that was Hong Kong.
Hong
Not
Kong.
Tokyo, Hong Kong.
Hong Kong,
Yeah.
not Tokyo. Hong Kong, China. Okay.
But we did have a baptism in Okinawa a few months ago.
There it is.
Tokyo.
Yeah.
Japan is getting the truth is in Japan. So
yeah, so
we're doing it, you know?
So we baptized Okinawa, Japan, right?
Yeah.
And then we have here, this was actually Hong Kong, China.
Yes, sir.
Look at that. I was still stuck with you saying that we have some people in Japan, but China. The Ainu tribe came over into both of those areas. The Most High is bringing back the children of Israel. All praises be to the Most High. That is what the work is all about. Having people whose souls were lost connect with the Almighty before his return. And yes, we're coming into the last trump. Speaking of the last trump, diving right in, right? Before I go in, Elder Lawya, please explain to the brothers and sisters what to expect week 3 of the Academy before we jump into the topic. Because why? This is going to be a deep discussion this evening. Hey, watch what we have set up for you this evening. Elder Lawya, can you explain what our brothers and sisters can look forward to this Sunday?
Yes, sir. So first and foremost, the title of discussion this coming Sunday for the Academy is The Flood to the Tower, Exposing All Gentile Religions. So we're going to get the opportunity to study from a biblical perspective the origin of the different religions that you may see from the ancient world. Also, you're going to see some correlations in the modern world. We're going to see what the testimony of Enoch has to say concerning the origin of evil, the origin of certain wicked practices that arose in the earth in the ancient world, and again, are still magnified, celebrated, and practiced in the new world. So all of that and more will be discussed in our lesson week 3, The Flood to the Tower, Exposing All Gentile Religions. If you're interested in the Hebrew and Bible Academy, go to historytimes.org. All the information you need will be there. Again, that's historytimes.org.
Historytimes.org to enroll. And brothers and sisters, let's jump right in. As you can see, the topic of discussion, I'm going to tell you, the Academy is off the chains. And we're still taking enrollment, so come on in. You'll get the first 2 weeks of everything, the news. And after you see what we drop in tonight, the news, the Hebrew 101, like none other than the earth, teaching you the foundation of learning the original Hebrew language, and it transfer into, even if you deal with the modern Hebrew, it helps you understand that also. And guess what? The lessons are not like anything you've ever experienced learning the Bible. Go to historytimes.org to enroll. Now, let's talk about our topic tonight. Let's go in. Now, we're going to do things a little different tonight, my brothers and sisters. Because sometimes our topics through the Holy Spirit go long, and there's so many intervals when it comes to we can have 3 or 4 topics out of one broadcast. But I thought it would be easier if we can break it into 3 separate sections that have what? Timestamps. So that if someone wants to jump directly to when the subject changed, the timestamps will be there, right? So to help the future viewership when you come to see the videos over. So tonight we're dealing with the Babylonian model for infiltration. Tonight you'll understand, brothers and sisters, the model we see in the earth today when it comes to religion, politics, as well as the last model they're using for insurrection, immigration. It's all the Bible. The Babylonian model for infiltration. The first part we're going to talk about, hey, we're nearing the last Trump, is Trump. Number one, Trump. What are they keeping from Americans when it comes to international news? That's number one, Trump. Number two, y'all gonna like this, y'all. Esau's confessions. Esau's confessions, quite interesting. Number three, the Trojan horse strategy. These are the 3 points we're going to hit on tonight that will give our brothers and sisters full understanding as to where we are and what's going on prophetically. And at the end of it, what can we do? Okay, what I like to do is bring real-time prophecy so that when you see the news or see whatever, you don't go with exactly what they are trying to do with the news. You see in between the news with prophecy. And by doing so, prepare. Well, first and foremost, let's go here. Number one, Trump. What's going on? Fair use.
After the United States went to war to stop Iran from advancing its nuclear program, the U.S. is reportedly inking a deal to allow Saudi Arabia to create a nuclear program.
The agreement between the two nations supports the creation of a civilian nuclear power program in Saudi Arabia. Relations between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia have been strained because of the war with Iran, and there are questions about whether international inspectors would have full access to nuclear sites inside Saudi Arabia, and if all of this could lead to the Middle Eastern nation diverting fuel to create a weapons program. NBC News White House correspondent Monica Alba joins us now. Monica, what more can you tell us about what this deal entails and how it was reached?
Well, this is an interesting one, Kate and Christine, because of course it has really important implications, but we don't have the full picture yet of what this entails from the U.S. side of things. We know, according to a senior administration official, that the Trump administration is expected to announce that it has reached this deal with Saudi Arabia at some point later today, but there are a lot of pressing questions about exactly how it would work, and it appears that American companies would be responsible for building up this new nuclear infrastructure within Saudi Arabia, but this would also have to go to Congress for approval, guys. But what's important about that is that it would be pretty difficult for lawmakers to block it. It would have to meet a pretty high veto-proof threshold in order to do that. But I think there will likely be questions, since this has been something where the leadership of Saudi Arabia has said that they would not seek to try to build a nuclear weapon necessarily with this kind of program. But they have also said that if Iran tries to, that they reserve the right to potentially do that. So all of that will need to be addressed, guys.
And Monica, this is all happening at a time when Iran's nuclear program is at the heart of the current war. So why does the administration believe it's acceptable for Saudi Arabia to develop a nuclear program?
Yeah, and that is the critical question here. And according to Saudi Arabia, again, they want to do this for economic purposes, for energy cost purposes, and to really approach it from that perspective. But Secretary of State Marco Rubio was asked exactly that, and he said that the U.S. would never support anything that would amount to proliferation of a potential nuclear weapon, that is the aim and the goal with respect to Iran, and would also apply to Saudi Arabia in that hypothetical sense. Christine and Kate.
All right. Monica Alba, thank you so much for that.
We thank you for watching, and remember,
And
stay updated on...
Yeah. Just hold tight, young man, and learn something. All right. Y'all heard that. Elder Lawya, did you hear that news that came out of nowhere?
I did hear that news. Yes, sir.
Saudi Arabia is getting the nod to build nuclear weapons as an opposition against Iran. Is this not second Esdras? Huh? Is this not the prophecies that were given to our people Folks, a little over 500 years before Christ was born, this time was seen by the prophet Ezra. So they're not telling people. Guess what, folks? They're keeping people distracted. Why are they allowing nukes in the Middle East when I thought that countries in the Middle East couldn't build nuclear missiles outside of Israel? And how is it that they're guaranteeing that Congress is going to fast track this when anything that need to get done for our people here is always filibustered or ignored altogether? So don't claim that you don't got no money or claim that you can't do things for the people of your country when out of nowhere you can approve nuclear missiles for who? For the United Emirates. That's right. And Saudi Arabia. That's right, folks. Esau and Ishmael. So what does this mean? First of all, if any of you have anything to say on that, I can give it to you first, Elder Lawya, then you, Elder Rawchaa.
No, sir. No, sir. No, nothing here.
What about you, Rawchaa?
Yes. For me, it don't make no sense. Like, how does Congress approve nukes in a country that's not theirs? You get me? It don't make no sense. Nukes already there. You get me? There's nothing. What we talking about here? It's foolishness. You with me?
Yeah.
So when the news come on and they're talking about them approving, it's already there. Everything that you see going on right now with that area, and I'm sure you're gonna touch on it. Yeah. Not only just prophecy it related to, right? It has really no bearing on the western side of the world and where we are in terms of it is like one of the biggest Hollywood flicks going on right now. No, let me just digress real quick.
Go ahead.
The western side of the world, from Venezuela all the way up to the United Kingdom, right?
Go ahead.
Does not need Middle Eastern oil. They don't need it. Trump has Venezuela, the Black Sea in England has oil, Canada has oil, America got oil reserve. There's no need for that. So with the crap going on in the Strait of Hormuz, and we're saying, the oil price have to go up now, man. It has nothing to do with it. This is a direct strategy. I believe, right? Direct strategy to collapse the world economy, to collapse it as we know it right now, to implement a new order, the new world order. That's what they're doing right now. So this talk about Congress approving nukes it's horse manure.
Well,
total horse manure.
Okay, well, let's put it in context for those, and I'm going into the Bible in a minute. Elder Lawya, make sure you grab that out of Esdras for me. About those bombs, those stars moving around, right? We're going straight to Esdras. We're going to the 15th chapter and the 16th chapter of Esdras. Right? Let me know when you have it, Elder. Because I'm going to show the prophetic side of this, but you're right, and you're right on point. This is really not about whether or not the oil resources will dry up for the United States, but they're going to make the Americans believe that there's what? That there's no oil reserves as a form of control. Once they bagged the Venezuelan president, they got all the oil they needed. That's why they went there first. But the whole deal is the artificial scarcity can now have them balance the oil prices that keeps the people at bay when it comes to what? Not being able to maximize their earn. Oil controls all of that because why? If those trucks do not bring the oil, guess what? The oil comes through trucks. Think about that. And planes and ships. So it slows everything down, which makes all product left what? Shoot through the roof. So that's why you see all your products getting smaller and smaller, because they're claiming they are what? They are reserving the economy based on a lack of oil reserves. So once they do this and say, hey, this Middle East thing is happening, they can shut things down, only give you a few gas stations to use or petrol stations to use. And at that point, it lowers everything when it comes to product, including food, which leads to the famine. It's a way of control. Now, the question is, why are they doing so much panicking in a sense to try to control the economy? Well, brothers and sisters, this is where we come in. God's people has awakened. And they have no control over the Most High communicating with his people. You see the baptisms. So they're going to try to use austerity and warfare and all of that as a tool to keep us under subjection and eventually to beg Pharaoh to feed us. That we're willing to stay subjugated under their gods if they will preserve our lives alive. It's because of the awakening, folks, all of this is going down. We no longer believe or trust them, and I'm going to show you why in a moment with Esau's confessions. They have run out of tricks. And what have I said for years, brothers? Even elders, I said this for years. Folks, let me tell you, if they could have destroyed us hand to hand, physically, they would have done it already. But all the other tactics we've fallen for, which actually allow them to get rid of us without us actually recognizing it's them. The invisible man. Eugenics, feminism, I'm going to go into that, Marxism, all these different systems to destroy the family, abortion, all of these things were tactics where if they could get stuff shot in our bloodstreams, then there would be no need to engage us face to face. And it was effective as long as we believed them. As long as we believed them, all of their behind the curtain tactics were effective. But now we don't trust them. We don't trust them. It seemed like everything we do in believing in these people, the worse the outcomes are for us. We don't believe they're pastors. We don't believe they're preachers. We don't believe their theology. We don't believe their Islam. We don't believe their political system. So now they go into the last resort. Okay? And in Israel, the state of Israel, they call it the Samson option. If we can't control the system, we'll put our hands between both of the pillars, Republican and Democrat, and crash the whole darn thing down. If these people won't allow us to rule over them willfully, we'll take ourselves out with them. Folks, this is what they are agreeing with, brothers and sisters. In this agreement with what? With the Middle East, with Saudi Arabia. Because it's insane to say you want to stop Iran from making a missile, and then you're going to give Saudi Arabia more missiles? I need y'all to think. So I need y'all to critically think what's going on, because everything going on there comes back here. It comes back here eventually. Elder Lawya, I need you to grab that for me real quick. Chapter and verse, if you will. Prophecy now. And by the way, what did I tell y'all? Didn't I tell y'all to get from in that area? But until I told you to get from out of those areas. Until it was time. I traveled all around the earth. Set up the ministries all over the earth. And in that, guess what? You're going to always have people who tag on to us not truly believing the gospel or understanding the mission because they weren't called from the beginning to understand it. So they'll tag along through tenure to get some level of credibility to try to pull people who believe what we teach into their folly. And I'm going to say that because without us, there is no traction. And I'm saying this, brothers and sisters, that's what you all have to take heed to. Always see the work in front of you and understand who the Most High have called to do what we're doing. And guess what? He's continually, he's continually communicating with his servants who are on the path to get all people in preparation with their white robes before his return. Look at here. What did I tell y'all? Before I go into that, Elder Lawya, because I know you're holding that for me, right? Chapter and verse. Put that out there for everyone first.
Yep, 2 Ezra 15 and 28.
15 and 28, I need you to hold that. And I need y'all to check this out as we segue to the next part in one moment. I told people, look at this. I've been checking out international travel. Jordan flight cancellations continue as Iranian attacks disrupt air travel as of July 21st, as of yesterday. And they are pinpointing what? The Western, listen here. The Western countries in particular, going back to America, UK, and other areas, it's hard to get back. Travel at all from the airport is shut down, but let alone get back to the West. Now, so you, and so that y'all cannot claim you didn't hear it here first, okay? It's 8:37, Wednesday, July 22nd, 2026. Okay? I told people years ago when they was letting troops in the United States, calling them what? Migrants. Allegedly. I said, listen, they're bringing in people from other countries to destabilize America because America has guns. Every citizen, the majority of the citizenry is armed. Right? I also said, listen, what they're going to do once they strike Iran, the American people aren't going to want to be a part of this because it's Israel's fight until America lose soldiers. And that's going to give them the moral high ground to go full, I'm going to tell you, full metal jacket on Iran. Then they just say, they're publishing it all over the place that they just lost 2 soldiers. And guess what? They dropped soldiers in Iran on foot yesterday. So remember I told y'all, I said this stuff years ago, folks. Their playbook, it's all scripture. And I'm going to tell you what's going to happen now. Guess what, brothers and sisters? According to the Iranians, you would never guess the highest, listen to this, the highest valued hostages. Who would be the more valued hostages for the Iranians? Americans. This stuff is getting real, folks. And guess what? When they start snatching people who didn't listen and all that, because they have the passports when you go through, and guess what? When you give your passport to anyone, wherever you live overseas, it's automatically given to the police. So they know where all the Americans are who are in particular areas in, that's right, the Arab countries. And these people become high collateral during a time of war. So I try to warn people, and people try to think that, okay, who he think he is? Hey, the Most High ain't only dealing with him. Listen, it's your life. We're all adults. But guess what? Don't try to blame me when something go down with a full adult who claim that the Most High was dealing with them as to why they're in the scenarios and the situations they're in. Several flights at Jordan's Queen Aliyah International Airport have been canceled amid continuing Iranian attacks. I told you all. Sirens rang out across Amman on Monday evening, warning people at aerial threat. Jordanian military later said its air defense system intercepted 3 incoming Iranian missiles. No material damage or casualties was caused by the interception, authorities said, without specifying the target of the attack. Okay, now guess what? They're also, this is why they're going into the nuclear, really allowing the nuclear missiles that are already there to be shared, if you really want to know, by Saudi Arabia. This is why, folks. Understand this, folks. They understand it's about to get crazy over there. It's about to get crazy over there. They're doing this because why? Iran is disturbing flights, the Strait of Hormuz, all of that, and are threatening to knock out the aquifer systems in the deserts where none of these countries can survive because they built it within a desert without the aquifer systems that actually water the deserts. That's what they threaten to do. And Iran claimed, and this is prophecy, we ain't on either side. We just got popcorn. We're just reporting on it according to the Bible. Okay? Let me make it clear. We're not for Iran. We're not for none of them. We're for the Most High. Let me make that clear. But Iran said that they're not walking into any more agreements. They're not at the table, and it's all out war as far as they're concerned. And no one is talking about that and what that means. But the Bible will tell us. So I tell you what, only thing we can do, the same as prophets in the Bible, is tell the people what the Most High said. That's it. And then walk accordingly, according to the Almighty, for those we are responsible for. But the world out there who have heard the truth cannot say they didn't hear what the Most High proclaimed out of the Bible. For years, America is talking about the Great Bear Russia. Even Israelites, they were only talking about Russia, missiles and all that. I'm like, listen, Russia is Esau. There's Russians running all over through America, real estate agents and everything. Russia is not the problem. And I said it years ago, according to the Bible, Iran is when the clock strikes midnight. When that began, understand that all the prophecies will unfold that would lead to them what? Locking down the earth eventually, because what? There's not going to be any terrorist attacks or false flags. When they start hitting Iran and all these other countries are going to start doing things to cause disruptions all throughout the West. I said that for over a decade through the Spirit of the Almighty, not because I'm a know-all and all that, because the Bible said it. And I warned the people about it. Elder Lawya, if you will. Chapter and verse.
Yes, sir. We're in the book of 2 Ezra 15 and 28.
Let me grab it here. 2 Ezra 15, verse. Hold on, let me turn it up a little bit here. 2 Ezra 15, verse 28. And again, all praises to the Most High, Ahia, in the name of Yeshua, for giving us insight, discernment, and a spirit to serve him until Christ returns. We thank the Most High for giving us breath and strength and insight in such troubled times. Brothers and sisters, knowing what's going on is half the battle. Let's read it, Elder.
Yes, sir. The book of 2nd Ezra 15 and 28. Behold, an horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots.
With many chariots. That's Saudi Arabia. That's Saudi Arabia, folks, with many chariots. So what is Ezra seeing? He's seeing flying machines at a time planes didn't exist. Moving chariots in the air. Moving chariots in the air. Read.
When the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth.
Read.
That all they which hear them may fear and tremble.
Read.
Also the Carmanians raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join the battle with them.
Hold up. Let me show people something here. Who shall come? Read.
It says, I'm going to start from 29. When the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, that all they which hear may fear and tremble. Also the Carmanians.
Also the who?
Also the Carmanians.
Also the Carmanians. You heard it here. Listen to it again. Out of the Apocrypha, July 22nd, 2026, the word of the Most High, the word of God. Boom. Who are the Carmanians? The Persians. The Persians. Who are the Persians? Iranic empires. Iran, folks. We're living real time what the Most High showed Esdras some almost 2,500 years ago, if you want to round it off. What are you talking about Russia? Russia is Esau. Russia play on either side just based on sustaining their economy. But at the end of the day, Russia is going to stick with Esau. Okay? That ain't who you have to worry about. You have to worry about Iran according to prophecy. So what will happen with the Carmanians? Read.
Also the Carmanians, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians.
And shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. This is what you're seeing now with the bombing of different parts of Israel. The same territory in the Middle East is what they're hitting now. Right? 31.
And then shall the dragons have the upper hand.
Thank you, Tam. Thank you, Tam. Bless you. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, resembling their nature. And you know what their nature is? Their nature is a wild man. Speak of the spirit of Ishmael. Remembering their natures. Because don't forget, Ishmael is not going to sit back either. That's why they're in cahoots with Esau over there to get a nuclear missile. To protect what? Their society. Because their water systems are getting threatened right now. And no one is talking about this, brothers and sisters, on Western American television. And what? Let's read.
It says here, and then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature. And if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them.
So they're conspiring together in great power to persecute them. So there's infighting in the Middle East with a separation between who? The Saudi Arabians and Iran. Huh? You would think that this prophecy was written in our current, what? News cycle. And I used to think about it. Why is these Saudis allowing Israel to grow in the Middle East to destroy an empire that they deem their Muslim brothers? They were together for years, well before 1948. What is this interest to side with America and or the state of Israel against people they've been neighbors with for thousands of years? But folks, Ishmael is going to go down with Esau. The Persians are a different race of people when you do the research. And that's why you need to get in that academy and figure things out. I want to put that out there too. A lot of us thought you got a rag on your head, you all the same people. You say assalamu alaikum, huh?
Just to add to that.
Yeah.
The Chinese are related to the Persians.
The Chinese are more related to the Persians.
Yeah, so they're family there. When you look at the old maps, China and Persia are cousins.
Exactly.
Now,
you talking about Madai?
Yes.
Through Madai.
In Ezekiel, the 39th chapter, it tells you that the Most High is going to put prong hooks in them jaw and pull them in.
Yeah.
Now, I believe whatever goes on in the Middle East, right? Whatever goes on down there, China is going to be in the thick of it, because you can't attack that one without that one saying something about it.
They're in it together. They're in it together. The whole point that I was trying, and this is where it comes in. This is where, because a lot of our people, we see just Arabs in the Middle East saying assalamu alaikum, walking around the rock and believe they're all the same people with the same interest. No. The example I can give you in our society, just say if you have a blood and crip who goes to separate mosques, even though they worship the same rock and bow 5 times a day, when they leave the rock, one puts on a blue bandana and another put on a red, and they fight on either side. So I'm showing, what I try to do is illustrate so our people can understand geopolitically and make it simple what's going on over there in relation to how it comes back here and relates to us. So one point you made that was exact. So where's the dividing line? Gaja, you made it clear. A lot of people didn't know that part of the Iranian faction are actually Asians. They're Asians in connection with who? China, through blood, through the ancient bloodline of Madai. So that's that split in the Middle East, even though all of them, the majority of them, worshiped some sect of Islam. We thought they were all together and wondered why they would allow white men to come in and divide them. Well, they're different races of people, and they have different interests. The Saudis are Ishmaelites who are what? Who are aligned with Esau, our big brother, in a conspiracy to destroy us. Iran don't serve that interest. Iran serves a different interest that they believe is prophetic, that they were made to fight the final war against whom they call the great Satan. And again, that's between them and them, because we don't serve, Allah's not going to be able to help either side when it's all said and done. Let me put that out there. So I'm telling you, but a lot of people think because the Middle Easterns, they all have things in common and worship the same God, that they're the same. No. The United Emirates, the Saudis are Ishmael. And there was a little land in Idumea. It was a valley between Mount Seir and the land of ancient Israel, where Ishmael and Esau got together in council to conspire against us if one day we fall from grace. How they would work together to keep us on the bottom. That's why even before Esau enslaved us, Ishmael did. So I'm bringing it around to a lot of you. I'm trying to bring it around so y'all can understand what is a schism, how Esau was able to get in there and have allies in the Middle East, even against Iran, without all the Arabs standing together in the Middle East. Iran is a different family. See that? So they may come over here, get off a camel and get themselves a gas station, and whether they be Arabs or Lebanese or whether they be whatever they are, and we think, okay, they're all the same. Let me get a Slurpee. Well, guess what? It's way deeper than that. They're not the same. Okay? Let's finish reading, Elder.
Yes, sir. One last thing on that, not to mention, they follow two different branches of Islam.
Yeah.
One is predominantly on the Saudi Arabian side, predominantly Sunni. On the Iranian side, they're predominantly Shia. And there's already pre-existing issues in regards to that Esau was able to exploit. He's able to exploit their divide too. Because Esau, guess what? And you're going to find that out. Esau played on either side of the fight. That's a tactic you use. Being a Trojan horse, we're going to go into that. That's a tactic they use, elders. That's a tactic they use, knowing that they are what? They're smaller when it comes to, in comparison of any other race. So they must work on either side for the sake of self-preservation. And usually what they'll do, they'll fund both sides to some degree, and then once they see who's losing, they'll get on the winning team just to survive long enough until the winning team figure out that they let an enemy in, and then Esau keep going with that. And then you figure out what's going on, and Esau say, well, hold up, I was your friend, but they've already been massaging and grooming another friend to fight against you, to latch on to them once you fall. See, exactly. So this is how a small nation survived throughout generations, causing conflicts on either side and pick the winning team just long enough to do what? To fund the next enemy they can latch to. The cunning hunter, right? All right, let's finish reading. Then these troubled, read the 2 Ezra 15 and 32. Let's read it. Yes, sir. 32. Then these shall be troubled and keep silence through their power and shall flee. And from the land of the Assyrians shall the enemy besiege them and consume some of them, and in their host shall be fear and dread and strife among their kings. Among their kings. That's what's going on right now. Strife amongst the leadership in the Middle East, because Iran is threatening to destabilize all of their power, because the Arabs' power and the Middle Eastern power is through their oil reserves. If they don't have this, they're nothing. Trump have already secured his interest by taking Venezuela and saying, pump, baby, pump. So he don't care, because this is now moving Esau above Ishmael in the Middle East if there's a conflict, where you must depend on any reserve Esau have left. So Esau is banking on them fighting one another and bombing each other so that they can become the only superpower in charge of all of the earth's oil resources. But then there's a little sneaky guy running around, right? Watch out. That no one is looking at, who's operating and has a stake in all of this financially, because they trade to all the countries. And who is Magog? China, who went into Africa prematurely in preparation to sustain China, knowing that there will be some destabilizations in the Middle East. Right? So then what happens? 34. Elder Lawya, your mic went out. Yes, sir. It's Lawya. Behold, clouds from the east.
Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Behold, read.
Behold, clouds from the east and from the north unto the south, and they are very horrible to look upon, full of wrath and storm.
Read.
They shall smite one upon another, and they shall smite down a great multitude of stars upon the earth, even their own star, and blood shall be from the sword unto the belly.
So what is Ezra seeing here? Heat-seeking missiles that look like shooting stars. What we witness when what? When Iran shoot a missile and then what? The opposition intercepts them. Behold the clouds from the east, from the north unto the south, and they are very horrible to look upon, full of wrath and storm. They smite one upon another, and they shall smite down a great multitude of stars upon the earth. He's seeing missiles that looks like stars according to how they are viewing this in ancient times. Even their own star, even their own missile, which means eventually they're going to cut loose their missiles against one another, including Saudi Arabia. Read.
And the dung of men unto the camel's hoof. And there shall be great fearfulness and trembling upon earth, and they that see the wrath shall be afraid, and trembling shall come upon them.
Come on.
And then shall there come great storms from the south and from the north, and another part from the west, and strong winds shall arise from the east, and shall open it, and the clouds which he raised up in wrath, and the stars stirred to cause fear toward the east and west wind shall be destroyed. 40. And the great and mighty cloud shall be puffed up full of wrath, and the star, and they that make all the earth afraid.
And what is the star that they that make all the earth afraid? Nuclear missiles. You think that the Most High wouldn't have this in the Bible? The great destabilizer? They try to, Oppenheimer, and try to claim, oh, look, they're geniuses. These people linked with all types of dark science and occult. But guess what? The Most High allowed these people to make the weapon that would so that they could destroy themselves. How do you claim you want to be a superpower over the earth, and part of your strategy is to destroy the people you seeking to rule over? Insane. To destroy, there's no land, the banks can rebuild and all that. Who's going to continually trust and endear themselves to such leaders where this is a strategy? And they that make all the earth afraid, read, and them that dwell therein.
And they shall pour out over every high and eminent place and horrible star.
Every high and eminent place, a horrible star. So think of all what? Think of all of the tourist areas, the tourist attractions in the Western world that most people go to. Whether it be in France, whether it be in England, whether it be in the United States, whether it be on the East Coast, West Coast. These are the places that's going to be targeted. Because it says, and they shall pour out of every high and eminent place and horrible star. Read, the horrible star is the nuclear missiles hitting major cities, which will now justify what? A rollout of military throughout the earth to put all people under every government, that's right, under one power. It goes back to the Vatican. Fire, read.
Fire and hail and flying swords and many waters, that all fields may be full, and all rivers with the abundance of great waters.
Read.
And they shall break down the cities and walls, mountains and hills, trees of the wood, and the grass of the meadows, and their corn.
And what happens next?
And they shall go steadfastly unto Babylon, and make her afraid.
And once the war percolate and spill over the top in the Middle East, it comes back to America. This is why Esau moved this war under Trump, so that now America can be the blame for the greatest atrocities of the earth since the earth's inception. This war will turn all of the world, not just the Tin Horns, against America. You think Trump, that's why they got Trump looking like the bad guy, the bad guy, the bad guy. But Trump is just a face for the order. If it wasn't him, it would be someone else. Because Congress, on either side of the aisles, and all the senators and all of that, they had to pledge to AIPAC. So eventually, the war comes back to what? America. And guess what? The world going to believe it was justified. Right? This is what the Most High says. This is the Bible. We're living the end of that prophecy. The only part we don't have right now is the missiles coming back here. But now we've seen through this. Remember this, July 22nd, Wednesday night on The Watch. You heard this. You heard this. And why are they doing it? Because they can no longer control the awakening. In order for them to come against our people, they must put the whole earth in subjection with one army to oppose God and God's people, the children of Israel on earth. They tried abortion. They tried everything, and it didn't work. We're still here. So it comes back here. Now, segueing over now, we went from Trump and what the prophecies are that no one is reporting here in the United States. And then we go into Esau's confession. I'm going to get that later. I'm going to get this later. The scammers they're bringing over here, we're going to talk about these scammers. All right? In a moment. But let's talk about, real quick. Hold on. 1 second. Let me get it here. See if I have it. Boom. Right here. Oh, there it is. There it is. Let me cut it up. I said last week, well, in the academy, that I was going to play this in the academy. But I think y'all need to hear something. A few of Esau's confessions real quick. I need y'all to check this out. Fair use for educational purposes only.
I just had a thought. One of the reasons white people hate black people is because we cannot tolerate black joy. We cannot tolerate black intelligence. We cannot tolerate black beauty. We cannot tolerate black confidence. We cannot tolerate black camaraderie. We cannot tolerate anything that frees a black person. There's a level of racism that I think hits differently for black people than it does for Asian people or Hispanic people or Middle Eastern people or Native Americans even. Each one of those things that people think regarding other races are different with black people, I think. Because again, we don't like black people to be educated. We don't like them to be successful. We don't want black judges. We don't want anything for black people that doesn't directly affect and entertain us. So we can have a black nanny. We can have a black house cleaner. We can have a black teacher. We can have a black coach. We can have black players. but only for the specific things that we feel comfortable with. I think about all those sweet children that have been killed, murdered, when they go out with their white friends. And I think that as much as the trauma of slavery comes down through the DNA, I think also the cruelty of slavery, the desire to hurt, the desire to steal and kill and humiliate and torment and disappear Black people is what comes down through the DNA. I think when you do something like that for long enough and you pass it down for the many years that slavery and enslaved people were in chains, that is an instinct with us, cruelty. And I think you can see it in many videos. All the white women and white men that are telling Black kids and Black families to get the hell out of here, you don't belong. We just don't want you to have more than us, honey. We just don't want you to be prettier. We don't want you to be the beauty standard. We don't want you to be judges or anything like that. We want you to be below us, beneath us. And we've tried so hard to keep you down, and we failed so badly. Because like Maya Angelou said, still you rise. We may hate you, we may beat you, we may do those things, and it makes us crazy that you keep coming back and getting better. We can't stand it. I don't know why that is. I think I heard somebody say that white people are the ones that have the ancestors that were closely related to the apes. And I believe that. We are so similar to Cro-Magnon man, Neanderthals. We're fucking pale monsters.
Fair use.
I really hate being white sometimes. I'm super ashamed. I think things like, sorry, I don't get good sleep right now. I think when I see a young Black kid with a bunch of white kids, or like I try to watch for things that are happening, and I was thinking to myself, you know, if I saw a Black kid hopping in a vehicle with a bunch of white kids, what would I do? I mean, you know, I could do anything. I could get the Black kid to come over and say, hey, I think I know your mother, come here. And then to say, you better get away from all them white boys. But I had a brown friend of mine tell me that that was silly and that it is savior-ish. Ooh, and I don't like that. White savior, white savior. Ugh. And then I still do it. I have it in me that Black people need my help. Mexican people need my help. Hispanic people need my help. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. If they do, oh, please forgive me. I'm so sorry. If they do, they'll ask. That's one thing. They'll ask. And I'll know instinctually if I'm out and about and something's happening. I can just pay attention and see if there's a way for me to step to whatever the white person is doing. I don't know. We'll see. I think the cruelty lives in us, and I don't mean it like we don't have a choice. Of course we have a choice, but it comes down as instinct, and unless we work desperately, unless we work very, 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 very hard for very, very, very many years, we'll never be rid of it. We'll never be rid of it anyway. But anyway, that's my thought, for whatever it's worth.
Now, here's your white liberal, brothers and sisters. Here's your white liberal. This is the woman that attaches herself to all the systems to work behind the scenes in destroying our people. What are we witnessing here? And you can let me tell you, and we have to start listening to what these people are saying and not dismiss what's in their hearts. Not all. This woman, there was never, I'm gonna tell you, there was not one parent and teacher conference this woman have missed. Even when her children weren't in school, folks. So we have a case study here, folks. You notice how she has studied us? That's number one. You know how she said that we cannot stand the fact that you are the beauty standard. So it's in their position to use psychology to make our sisters believe that they're the beauty standards. See how it works? That's how it works. And guess what? What we're looking at, in all due respect, I don't know this woman, but hey, she could have been the homecoming queen who aged out, who got all the attention in school by the jocks and all this, and college and all of this, and had all the attention, and she see herself in comparison to our sisters. And what do? Well, they can't beat you no other way but through what? Psychology. They'll get into your systems and teach you how to self-destruct so that they can feel better about themselves. This is a serious pathology here. So y'all can try to play off that this is just a one-off. Nah, these are the people who are in the Democrat Party, who set up the political systems, who are behind all of the social programs when it comes for abuse women that help make you think that they're your friend. They're the people at the family courts operating to turn you against your only people, your man in your prime, so that you can be miserable like her with nobody by the time you're 40 or 50. Okay? So you know she don't got nothing to do all day but, but find out how she can execute some level of Marxism or socialism to destroy black people. Because obviously, we're on their minds. Now, we're going to play it back in a minute. I'm going to see what the elders have to say. But folks, stop downplaying this and think it's a one-off, folks. And understand this is the mentality that's behind the systems that control our community. This is what we integrated into. The good-to-do Edomites would have never integrated with us. They gave us their what? You got it. They gave us their rejects. Straight out. They gave us the people that they don't even trust amongst themselves. That's what we were integrated into. Oh, you want to? You want to hang out with white people? Okay, I got some for you. Let's go to these witch covens. Let's go to these occult centers of MK Ultra, and guess what? We can give all the white you want, and they'll be over all of your systems. And guess what? Your children will become their sacrifice. No wonder, and I just found this out. Who received the first Margaret Sanger Civil Rights Award? Margaret Sanger, who received the Margaret Sanger, and you know she was a straight demoness. She so happened to be Jewish, but she was also a eugenicist, a Satanist. Who received the Margaret Sanger Awards? Let's see. Look at this here. Isn't this interesting? And these are the people like that woman who would have the same mindset, let's kill off those weeds, as Margaret Sanger. Hillary Rodham Clinton, the Clintons. the crime bill that would separate our people with the Clintons in the White House, Nancy Pelosi, Jane Fonda, all these liberal feminists, right? Look at here. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. received the Margaret Sanger Award. Indirectly, because I don't think he agreed with her ideology, but they wanted to give him the reward because this civil rights would allow the Trojan horses to come in to destroy our people from the inside. He realized this and changed course, but by the time he changed course, it was too late. They wanted to get rid of him before he would warn us of the integration. Esau's confession. We're going to bring him in. It's more Esau's confession, fair use.
About it, there's been 3 moments in history where America almost became a real democracy. Almost. And every single time, white America chose to burn it the fuck down rather than
fair
share
use,
the
fair use.
So if you want to understand the mess we're in today, you have to understand the cycle. The incredible James Baldwin once said, history is not the past. It is the present. We carry our history with us. We are our history. So today I'm going to break down the 3 reconstructions of this country, and I'm going to show you the pattern. First.
Okay, let me put this out there and make a disclaimer, folks. All white people aren't evil or bad people. You have to understand where Esau is strategically placed to undermine us. These are hand-picked Marxists that are in the socialist governments that are over our systems. The everyday white guy, John B, singing an R&B song, you don't got to worry about him. Okay? All right? You don't got to worry about John B. He ain't even thinking about that. He's just down with the genre. Okay? You don't have to worry about the Kelsey brothers who's catching footballs. They're entertainment. But you must watch the trust and systems that are attached when it comes to controlling our communities. You have to look right into the radio, the NAACP. You got to look into the societal structures in place that made the family courts, the clinics and all these others that goes right back to the Tuskegee experiment to wonder why diseases hover in our neighborhoods as if they're sexually transmitted diseases, but where's the entry point? Were they shot into us? And I'm just asking a question so that they can stop us. Number one, make it where we don't trust reprocreating so that they can grow while we stay stagnant. And if we fear we're going to get anything, then guess what? Lower birth rates. And how do we know that this stuff can be shot into people? Well, in the Vietnam War, it was used by as they claim, the Vietnamese women were shot with, I'm talking about the ladies of the night, were shot with syphilis so that they can weaken, that's right, so that they can weaken the soldiers they slept with and give them the disease. So the sexually transmitted disease didn't come through just sexually transmission. It was them being shot with syphilis in their bloodstream, then transmitting it. That's right. Through intercourse. So how many of us are spreading things based on us trusting the system, believing some of the stuff they're claiming is truly that stuff? So what we have to talk about is who's over our systems and how are they destroying us inside out without presenting themselves. These are the Edomites, like the white woman that we just seen, who must get exposed, not to trust them. And what they do is they plaster all of these abuse women adverts all over the highway. If you abuse, call this number and call this number. And you think it's somebody for your turn. But what they're looking for is a compromised emotional target. And it's not to say that these programs don't help people. They do help people. But it also gives them what? Candidates they can target to be utilized against their own people. And or if the woman is getting abused, the first thing they start looking at is how many children they have, because this is how CPS come in. You think you going there to stop a man from abusing you, and a man should never hit a woman, but they're looking at how many children they can take out of your home under certain circumstances. So when we talk about white people, we're talking about those who have control over systems. Those who can be in the school apparatus, public schools, and intentionally promote stupidity through curricula so that your children don't learn because they hate educated black people. So they'll get in that sector to make sure your sons and daughters can't read. You see how that works? So to walk around with an axe to grind against every white person you see is utterly ridiculous, because they don't trust white people who like us or who are around us. Okay? Let me make it clear. Right? So all white people aren't that way, but guess what? The Bible says that man of sin shall be revealed, and it's our position to warn our people concerning this.
So, if you really think about it, there's been 3 moments in history where America almost became a real democracy. Almost. And every single time, white America chose to burn it the fuck down.
Fair
rather
use.
than share the key.
This is the Bible program.
So if you want to understand the mess we're in today, you have to understand the cycle. The incredible James Baldwin once said, history is not the past. It is the present. We carry our history with us. We are our history. So today I'm going to break down the 3 reconstructions of this country, and I'm going to show you the pattern. First, the hope, then the white lash, or the pillage, what I call it, and then all the white propaganda and the Christian tools used to keep it going. Because once you see the pattern, you can't unsee the truth.
Fair use.
Historically, the first Reconstruction started in 1865 through 1890s. Following the Civil War, the springtime of liberty arrived. The 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments made black American citizens and voters. Over 2,000 black men held public office for the first time, proven leaders. Literacy rates jumped from 0 to 50% in just 1 generation. Then came the white lash, or what I call the pillage. 4,743 documented lynchings, public murders used as spectacles. When black people built wealth, the system burned it down. Tulsa in 1921, Rosewood in 1923, Wilmington in 1898, Elaine in 1919. Over 30 major black cities and districts incinerated. We white people even flooded entire towns to hide the evidence of black success. Oscarville, Georgia, now under Lake Lanier. Seneca Village, now under Central Park, literally drowning the truth, just to name a few. After the pillage was the white propaganda and the Christian tools. White narcissism created the lost cause propaganda, claiming the war wasn't about slavery, but about honor. Us white people used the black menace stereotype to argue black folks were unfit for freedom. We used white Christianity as the tool. Pulpits preached that racial hierarchy was ordained by God, making the lynch mob believe they were doing holy work. This is white America. Then it was time for the second Reconstruction, the Civil Rights, 1954 through the 1980s. The hope was the black community won Brown versus Board, the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act, the legal right to vote, fair housing, and the right to sit at the lunch counter. Integration. Of course, in this second Reconstruction came the white lash, what I call the pillage. The response was a national strategy of economic theft. Integration was a one-way street of theft. We fired thousands of black educators to decapitate black leadership. The federal government's HOLC drew red lines around black neighborhoods, marking them as hazardous.
Y'all see this?
So, if you really think about it, there's been 3 moments in history where America almost became a real democracy. Almost.
Now, this is an Edomite, he appeared to be, that isn't on the side of destroying our people. But guess what? He just rolled off a lot of history we've been talking about for years. If no one interfere in our affairs as a people, we excel above all. No matter what they tried to do against Judah here in America, they feared that we would become the model to free our people spiritually throughout the earth and make a conscious change. They left us alone. Okay? They wouldn't put us on a long walk. We went into Tulsa and Oklahoma and say the Trail of Tears, Gad and Judah together, Seminole. And every time they left us alone, we thrived. We thrived. And now we at the very end with the knowledge that now we are Israelites. Like that woman say, it's just that no matter what we do to you people, she started laughing. Y'all just rise. And it's important, brothers and sisters, that regardless of what these people think, because they're really all up in our set. Understand, brothers and sisters, your value to this world, given to this world through the Almighty. And value that. The world intentionally make us believe that we're underlings and we should be subservient to all nations. That they have indoctrinated us psychologically, folks, straight psyops and psychological warfare to have us feel less than who we are. When they even tell you, just without the Bible alone, they know that we are the chosen people of God. They've tried everything and we still rise. So now they're at the last leg of their warfare. What is that warfare? Let's talk about their Trojan horse. And guess what? Before I talk about their Trojan horse, let me see if any of the elders here have anything to say on the two. And I thank them for being candid. Even the woman. Don't get upset about it, folks. You know, Esau will sit there and hear the most heinous things other people say about them, some of them without feeling any type of way. Because what they need to know is how you think in order to find a way to circumvent and or destroy you, which means any information they are examining can be beneficial. It's data. So a lot of our people, when we hear people say stuff like that, we have to take our emotions out of it, which is hard for God's people, and study the pathology. Study the data to understand what we're up against. Who's teaching our children? Who have access in our community to those who can harm us? Take your emotions out. That's how we thrived under segregation, folks. This is how Judah survived. We knew who they were, and they knew who we were. This is how we survived many generations being the minority in the United States. We didn't sleep on them because we understood their intent, regardless of their belief systems. They had one Christianity. We made a New Jack Christianity because guess what? Even though it don't make no sense what we made, but it wasn't going to be what they were doing. If Jesus was going to be up in the room, we was going to be praising them with shout. They came up in the church and say, hold up, we didn't set this up. So again, sometimes, brothers and sisters, when we hear them say heinous things, listen with your spirit in your ear and take your emotions out of it so you can understand how they think. I'm talking about the enemy who have intentionally entrenched themselves amongst our people, and now they have access to our children. Folks, I'm going to drop this and then I'm going to let y'all speak real quick. You think the thing, daycare centers, folks, do you think that was a plan to affect other races of people? Anything they roll out, folks, affects the bottom the worst, and they know it. They rolled out, folks, daycare centers so that they can separate the children at the most impressionable time of a child's development. Rich people and people who can afford it would dare allow strangers to be raising their children during the bonding time that they're supposed to have with their mothers. Okay? Because the children don't know better. Really what you're doing is you're co-parenting, and someone else can indoctrinate your child contrary to the beliefs in your home is why they set it up. And while they have us doing it and have no time with our children to develop them, white people, they go and they'll bring in nannies from overseas. See? And that nanny is going to teach their child what they believe and understand. And guess what? They're teaching their children that you ought to be served by black people, starting with your nanny. See the difference? So that's how you build a boss. You don't wait until they're in school. You build a boss out of the womb. They looking at us just giving our children to strangers, these nut jobs like you seen that woman there, are the people that you checking your children into. Not all, there's some caring people, but understand the systems was made it where you can't have that effect that's needed at the most important times of a child's development. They studied that, folks. And those who have the finances and white people, I go into supermarkets and all that, and guess what? I see a white tall dude, I can tell that he's a businessman or whatever, and he got a nanny. He got a nanny from overseas or something, and all of the children are around him, and his wife is probably around the corner jogging somewhere while he's at the market, and the nanny is picking up the groceries. I'm like, and I looked at it, I'm like, you know what? They know how to build bosses. They understand the importance of the next generation. So again, take our emotions out of this and become accountable and understand what we're up against. Now, before I go into the Trojan horse, elders, is there anything y'all would like to say on Elder Lawya, starting with you with the two Edomites confessions there?
Yes, sir. Real quick. I just want to read something real quick from Wisdom of Solomon, and just jumping on the back of what you just mentioned earlier, as far as when we hear these conversations, not to be disturbed, not to get in our emotions, because a lot of what's being said out there, negative, positive, and otherwise, concerning our people, is verifying everything that we've taught, that we've understood, and that we've been bringing forward out of the Bible since the inception of this ministry. And here's one example. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2. I'm going to start at verse number 14.
Hold up, Elder. Let me pull it up so they can see it, okay?
Yes, sir.
Wisdom of Solomon 2, verse 14. Let's read it.
Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 14 starts off by stating, he was made to reprove our thoughts. So first and foremost, for example, many of these people have been convinced in their minds, they have deluded themselves to believe that somehow we're inferior
and that they are superior. But according to the Bible, it states that we were made to what? Reprove their thoughts. We were made to correct that thinking process, that thought process. So, for example, they'll tell themselves that the reason why we're in the condition we're in, and the reason why they have been able to obtain and maintain dominance over the earth is because they have a high IQ, because they're more intelligent, because they have achieved some sort of status of high ingenuity. But here it is, we come with the Bible and we bring the understanding that the reason why you are in the position you're in don't have anything to do with your IQ. In fact, when the Most High placed you over us, it was stated that he would what? Not place the most intelligent nation over us. It states that he would place a foolish nation over us. So that's not the reason why you're in your quote unquote superior or supreme position. You're in that position according to the Bible, and this is where we come in. We come in with the Bible and let it be known that the reason why you have obtained and maintained your position is because it was prophesied that you would have a time to rule. It was prophesied that a time would come in which the yoke would be broken off of your neck, and that you would obtain what? The dominion. That's why you're in position. So that's one example of how we have come forward in every instance when it comes to history, when it comes to even the history of this country and what they believe concerning the morals and the values of this country. They want you to believe that it's because of something they have done or something they have instilled, the practices that they have upheld. When in reality, we have always been the moral compass of this country. So the Bible says we were here and we were made to reprove their thoughts. We were made to correct their false ideologies and their false thinking. But here's the key point in relation to what the woman was stating about our existence, the fact that they hate our very existence. Verse number 15. He is grievous unto us, even to behold. They hate the sight of us. They hate the look of us. And again, they want you to believe that they have some level of variance or hatred against us because, tell me if you heard this one before, we're getting tired of this trashy black culture, or black culture is trash. That's why we hate you.
Or black fatigue, huh?
Black fatigue, yeah, that's another one. That's why you hate us. Well, the examples the man just gave, what about all of these communities that were built all over the United States in which there was no quote unquote black trash culture? There was no ratchet black culture. These were mainly predominantly Christian communities upholding Christian values, and you still hated it. You still found a way to come in, infiltrate, and destroy it. So it ain't got nothing to do with the so-called black fatigue or black culture is trash. The reality is that you hate the very sight of us. She said that they hate even the idea of us being happy, having joy, having fun, except when that happiness and that joy is in relation to entertaining them. Except when that happiness and that joy is in us being in a position of serving them or being in a servile position of them. Then they can tolerate our happiness. Then they can tolerate our joy. But us being joyful among ourselves, us just sitting back and just minding our own business, they find a way to bring us into the conversation. And that's another thing. No matter what the conversation is, somehow we become the butt or the main focus of the conversation, right? So it says here, he is grievous unto us to behold, for his life is not like other men's. His ways are of another fashion. So there's something different about you that all nations, including Esau, understands. There's something different about you. The way you sing is different. The way you dance is different. The way you operate in the arenas, the sports arenas, is different. For the nations, it's incomprehensible.
The way you cook is different. The fact that you can put together these magical, almost, I mean, in their mind, it must be sorcery how you can put together these great meals, in many cases from scraps. No recipe book, no training, no culinary training, and you're putting together high-level meals from scraps. All of that, they're looking at this, they're examining this, and they're saying that these people are of another fashion. There's something different about these people. But in their minds, they have to find a way to subject it. They have to find a way to make you feel inferior about something that God instilled in you naturally, that God instilled in you, being the children of God spiritually. So I'm going to read just a little piece of verse 16, and I'll pass it to Elder Rawchaa if he has anything to say.
Go ahead.
We are esteemed of him as counterfeits. He abstaineth from our ways as from filthiness. Now, I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole, right? But I know growing up, even before the truth, there were certain things that we were told as far as, you know, I'm trying to keep this as clean as possible. I'm wondering if I should even go down this rabbit hole. I'm gonna leave it there. I don't want to offend anybody. So I'm gonna leave it there.
All right. Well, make sure you tell me after it's done. Go ahead. But
just know, growing up, we had different standards.
Go ahead, Lawya.
I'm sorry, God, you were saying something?
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead, man. I'm saying, if you say you're not gonna offend, what I'm gonna say is gonna offend. So, hey, it's late where I'm at right now. So I'm coming. You get me? It's late. All
right.
What?
Well, I was just saying that there's different. We were told growing up that there's different standards when it comes to different ways of living. You know, basic things. You know, hygiene and cooking and just different things that we were told growing up that other people may have not gotten that same insight, that same training, that same instruction. I'm gonna leave it there.
Well, let's leave it. And before I get it over, there's a few things you pulled out, all three of us on the screen real quick, that I wanted to point out, and it made me have a little bit more respect for what I began to look down at when I got the truth. When you just brought that out. When it says their fashion is not like our fashion. Like, for instance, they knew that we were the children of Israel, and coming off the ship, they would have a whole thing of pork and made us eat pork, the end of pork and all that, the insides of pork to survive. They would starve us out and force us to eat swine, right? And something came to my mind, and it made me appreciate our people. Especially my family that came from the South, that our fashion is not like theirs. They would give us the stuff that they didn't want to eat, even out of the pig. But then they would come inside our little slave huts, and what we made out of scraps tastes better than the best parts of the animal that they had in the big house.
That's right.
And I'm going to tell you, and they like, man, we give them crap and they still make something out of it. And this is what made me respect my family to a certain degree, my father and mother being from the South. When I got the truth, the first thing I said was, Mom, we shouldn't be eating this crap. It's swine, this, that, and the other. This is the Most High hated. And my mother said, Junior, my mother came to me, she said, Junior, you right. I'm not going to say you wrong in what you believe. You should keep on reading that Bible. But she says, listen to what I'm telling you. Okay? We were eating pig because that's all we had. She said, but we know it was wrong. To some degree, but we would do stuff to a pig you wouldn't believe. We would take dirt and stuff it. If they want to give us intestines, we would have to take dirt and intestines all along and put dirt all the way through it and run it like a hose until all the mess was out of it and clean it so that we didn't die from the diseases in it. She said, this is what we had to do. This is what my grandfather and what our people had to do to survive, because this is the crap they gave us. And right, and it hit me because I always go Bible without understanding the struggle that it took for her to bring me forth, for my father to bring me forth, the things they had to do to go through the red lining. Is that whose line is that? That's you, guys?
Hold on, 1 second. I'm gonna cut off her.
Okay. To have to go through some of the things that we didn't understand. But before she passed over, she said she knew she was Israelite. She didn't eat pork or nothing. But that gave, when it says we're not, that we have our own fashion, they'll throw us trash and we'll still turn it into something, folks. We didn't have the money and all of that. Even though I played trumpet coming up in school and all that, we didn't have money to get all the instruments and become part of the orchestras and all these things growing up. Only thing we had was our parents' records, the record collection. And next thing you know, we was making beats, scratching off of the records. Vic, and like, yo, and made records an instrument. Because we didn't have the money like white people would have to be able to go and play the cello and all these others and all of that. They look at us and say, even though they're deprived, they're happy, and they still excel with nothing. Where's God at? Is he back? Hold on, let me see where he went. 1 second. 1 second. Hold on. I think it was his Wi-Fi. It could be his Wi-Fi. Let me check. Oh, I think he's on his phone and another call was coming in.
Yep.
That's what it was, because I heard something happen. Well, I'm sure he's going to come back. But yeah, well, since we'll wait for him to come back. But in the meantime, Elder, let's go to the next portion. Let's hear this out, and then we're going to transition. Let's hear it out one more time. Fair use. Fair use.
That'll give him time to come back.
Yeah.
So, hey, Boo. I just had a thought. One of the reasons white people hate black people is because we cannot tolerate black joy. We cannot tolerate black intelligence. We cannot tolerate black beauty. We cannot tolerate black confidence. We cannot tolerate black camaraderie. We cannot tolerate anything that frees a black person. There's a level of racism that I think hits differently for black people than it does for Asian people or Hispanic people or Middle Eastern people or Native Americans even. Each one of those things that people think regarding other races are different with black people, I think. Because again, we don't like black people to be educated. We don't like them to be successful. We don't want black judges. We don't want anything for black people that doesn't directly affect and entertain us. So we can have a black nanny. We can have a black house cleaner. We can have a black teacher. We can have a black coach. We can have black players. But only for the specific things that we feel comfortable with. I think about all those.
And again, we'll keep it open, because if there is a white person out there who feel comfortable enough to tell the truth concerning how uncomfortable they are with black presence, we're open to hear that. If there's something in them inherently that just for no reason at all will have them feel a certain type of way about us, I'm open to hear it, because I've never been that way about any race of people. We're not even raised to be that way. So, but I'm sure, you know, that this isn't a small demographic. Okay, this isn't a small demographic. Some of our sisters, sometimes we come down on them and say, hey, we want you to wear your hair. We love your hair, right? Let me show y'all something. Let me show y'all something, folks, real quick. I showed this in the academy. Essence 70s magazine covers. Let me show y'all. I showed this in the academy the other day, Elder Lawya. God, if you're out there, you can come back at any time. I showed this. Folks, I need y'all to see this. Essence was owned by a black man. Essence, Jet, all of the stuff that we were doing for black excellences, folks, there was never a time that the black man didn't honor and respect the black woman as the standard of beauty. That's something, it's revisionist history what they're telling people now, that black women aren't protected by their men. I'm going to tell you who indoctrinated our women with that. People like this. You would go into the office and she was in HR. She was in position. See, I worked in the corporate sector, and I always would find women like this who would like to boast of themselves, especially over a black man. It was them making our sisters feel a certain type of way when they come into the office. And if you're going to be in the office, they felt more comfortable if you wore hair like them. And our sisters would be what? They would be more accepted if they wore hair under the corporate model set by who? Karen. See? So they would be ostracized or felt this, but when you come in with the hairstyle that they approve, they'll always give you compliments because they've always envied. Let me show you. They've always envied this. White women were wearing bushes in the 70s. But what they couldn't do, we would be able to do what, sisters? We can go from here and we can take a hot comb. I can still smell. I still can sense the smell of what a hot comb smells like in our house. I can still, I can ask, I know the scent of it. We can go from this to this the next day with our own hair.
Right.
White women couldn't do that. You talking about styles. We would take our own hair and do pigtails. Whatever you name, they couldn't do it. They couldn't wait for our sisters not to be able to value the beauty that came naturally through a black woman's skull, her hair. This is how black men were promoting black women in the 70s. It was Karen who started lying and telling people that the black man never protected the black woman. We the ones that was upholding the beauty standard, using our women to do so. Diana Ross and all of that. White women would try to look like the Supremes. Look at this. Folks, these are all the magazines of the 70s. Look. And they use Marxism and break up the family through insecurity and all that to take away the natural thing they've always envied, so they don't have to bear it. And all the brothers are saying the same thing. I don't know where y'all hearing this stuff at. We've always loved you with your hair. We've always done it. But it was Karen, folks. If you're going to be around us, you're going to wear our standard. And if they wanted to be in the workplace, our sisters didn't want to feel what? Left out. And don't come there, don't come into the workforce and your body was right. And they seeing all the people and the white collars and all that, saying, you see that new girl? Let me tell you, these Karens would conspire to get you in a doghouse and fired. These are the ones right here, folks.
Have a black coach, we can have black players, but only for the specific things that we feel comfortable with. I think about...
Who do you think came up with... I wonder if we can lace this stuff with some poison and give them cancer. Because I'm going to tell you, really, I'm going to tell you, folks, we didn't have a problem growing up with our mothers and stuff wearing wigs. Okay? They had wig stands with different styles. They would put on a little white wig, a wig stand they would put there. But guess what? They would take that stuff off and take their hair off, and always, it wasn't covering their hair every day.
God is ready to come back on, by the way.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't like that every day, folks. So they found a way to get in between us and then sell stuff, make a deal with China, and then all the poisons were put in there to where what? Now they don't have to witness what they envied for hundreds, if not thousands of years, the natural beauty of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi women. God just back?
Yes, sir.
All right, God, you back with us? Unmute, please. I'm bringing him in. Okay. You back, Gotcha? Unmute, please.
Mute.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Sorry about that. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Let me play it all the way through, then I'm going to let you come in, all right?
Okay.
All right. The water. It was Karen, folks. And guess another thing Karen did. When they opened up immigration, they started siding, and liberal men was doing it too, but it was Karen. It was her. She was the one getting with our sisters in these different boutique shops and other places saying, I just love how exotic, and when y'all come over, y'all nothing like the black women and black men over here. They, all due respect, they don't work as hard. They don't have as much passion. What they were dividing and conquering, folks, because why? They needed a demographic of blacks who would need them. And through what? through the threat of immigration, it gave them the subservient blacks that didn't threaten them or have them feel a certain type of way about a high-minded Negro. So they're the ones that started whispering to other people over here, yeah, y'all different than them. Because they understood that, guess what? Let me tell you, they always concentrate on the underbelly of our community and ignore the excellence. And they don't tell people in other communities that come here, from Jamaica, from all that, the excellence that they've always envied. Okay? Divide and conquer. And then they did that. They said stay away from them. And guess what? The 12 tribes of Israel started teaching. And the same people they tried to keep us separated from was joining under the same belief. We try to keep the Jamaicans away from them. And now they saying they're Benjamin. We're trying to keep the Haitians away from them, and they're joining together. We can't even use their own people against them.
About all those sweet children that have been killed, murdered, when they go out with their white friends. And I think that as much as the trauma of slavery comes down through the DNA, I think also the cruelty of slavery, the desire to hurt, the desire to steal and kill and humiliate and torment and disappear Black people is what comes down through the DNA, I think.
Okay, that's enough for you. All right. Gotcha. You had something to say on them real quick since you're back?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I wanted to unpack with it, man. I don't think I'm gonna have enough time for it. My eyes are going down. It's like 3 o'clock where I'm at right now.
Okay, go ahead.
So check it. This is your school teacher. This is your pediatrician. This is your this is regular people, everyday people within your communities. Now, what hit me, and it's from a different perspective here, right? Is that the standards that she would talk about of what like say beauty standards, right? Like growing up in Jamaica, they would push on our people what their beauty standards were. So when you look at my community back, you have a lot of bleaching, a lot of young women, young men is aspiring to be a white woman, right? And my generation right now, if you Google it now, anybody can Google it. There's a declining birth rate in Jamaica right now because of people like this and the ideologies that they would have pushed on my generation. You know, go to school, get educated. You understand me? A lot of my friends never had no children until I'm in them 40s, struggling right now. 40-year-old with little 2-year-old babies and all that. And some people got to the age where they say, yo, they just don't want any more children. So the government put it out right now where the birth rate has declined. And you had these people were the nurses coming in, you with me, from overseas, the Red Cross that would pull up in the Kingston Harbor. They would vaccinate the people. They would tell them, oh, you need to be like this, you want to come to America, and sell them this lie. So listening to her, this thing got deep. You go Africa, you do the same thing. You go Nigeria, Ghana, the same model. They tell the people them go to university, go to colleges, get degrees, get education. And a lot of our women right now are lonely, unmarried, because they chose the route of getting educated and getting money when the people when this is you know, it's a facade, it's not real, it's an illusion. You with me? So I think where men can recover, a lot of our sisters can't recover from some of the ills that been done and done to them, of what they've been told, the dreams that they were sold. You with me? With this foolishness, when the people them directly don't like you, the people them directly envy you. They envy you here, they envy you the way you walk, the way you look. Like I said, the athleticism, all of these things, there's deep envy going on. You get me? No, never mind the high level agenda, you know. I'm not even talking about it. I'm just talking on a day-to-day, every day, your next door neighbor looking at you. You get me? Wondering why it is that, yo, he's 65 and looking like 80, and you 60 looking like 24. You with me? All of these things. So it compound like I was like listening to it, man. There's so much I should have actually put pen to paper, write it down. But there's a lot of things. And then the other when you brought on the other brother confessing, you know, it's so much, man. It's so much. Listen, check it. Check this out. I'm in China, okay? I'm in China. I went over to a place called Macau. Macau was colonized by the Portuguese. There's one of the oldest churches in Asia in there. I got the pictures of it. I need to send them to you, right? And I'm in Macau. And Chinese people walking up to me, came up to me, grabbed me, hugged me, feeling my skin, trying to feel my hair. Okay? Taking pictures. Took pictures. Tell me where I can go and find the pictures then, because they wanted to be seen with me. One person took the phone up and called the mother. I'm in Shanghai because my connecting flight, miss my connecting flight. I had to stay 2 days in Shanghai on my way to Australia. Go to a place called the Bund. I'm on the Bund. Okay? Look it up. Yo, people, you would think that I'm a celebrity. You would think that they know, like, you would think I'm a basketball player or something. People coming up, just want to hold my hand, want to hold my skin. Men coming, hugging me, want to take selfies with me. You get me? So the hate.
Well,
the world knows.
Hey, Gaja, that's what it was like that when we landed in Egypt years ago. It was like that. But
Yes.
go on.
So these nobody. We are the only people on the earth that can generate that. Our brothers and sisters, they need to understand that yo, if you come outside of the bubble where you at within the West, and you come out and you explore some other places, people appreciate you because they know who you are and the value that you bring. I'm in China, speaking only English, okay? And people, like I said, I got the videos, people coming up to me, taking pictures with me, just hugging me, knowing that, yo, you special. I'm like, yeah, man, I know I'm special. You get me? I know that. We're Israel, bro. We're in the earth. We're alive. We're kicking. We're fully awake. The people that need to understand that, need to get that. Our sisters, them, man. I hold no misgivings towards any white person. You know why? I'd probably hate me too if I were you. You get me? You understand? I'd probably hate me too. I'd probably have a problem with me because why? One, our Father chose me. Yeah, that's one. He chose me, gave me the blessing. You get me?
Yeah.
So you are my uncle. You are my uncle right now, conspiring because the blessing missed both of you. Tough. It happens. Get over it. You get me? That is the thing. Yo, there's a bigger thing going on right now. Bigger thing going on right now within the earth.
But you can almost, it's to some degree. When people have that much vitriol, it makes it where you almost feel sorry that they can't have the peace we have as a people. You almost want to just pray for a person like this, like, where's your peace? Being so obsessed with the people who are not even thinking about you. So the whole thing is, we just need our people to know that this particular spirit is in all positions to cause anarchy and to cause division amongst us. So that we can now examine ourselves outside of their indoctrination as a saving grace, as a way of preserving ourselves alive. That was my point. But go ahead.
Let me drop something here real quick, right? And this is going to be my last point for the evening. And I did this on the Sabbath.
Well, I'll tell you what. You probably don't want that to be your last part, because when you said go to colleges, wait till you hear the last piece of the scripture of where they got the whole ideology to use 3.5 years to indoctrinate a Trojan horse to undermine our people. It's in the scriptures where they got it from.
All right, let me wake up, Amir, but let me drop this though. I want to put this based on the last point we just made here.
Go ahead.
Elder Lawya, can you read something for me, please, if you don't mind?
Sure.
Can you get me Sirach 28:1? And why I'm going here, Elder, is this. Check it. You see when Christ said to them, when Christ said, pray for them that despise you. When he said, yo, it's on another level for forgiveness and how to move forward so that the adversary can't trap you. And I know you know this, Elder, because I learned this from you. So listen to this, putting this out there. Sirach 28. Drop it for me, please, Elder.
Sirach 28, verse 1. He that revengeth shall find vengeance from the Lord. And he will surely keep his... shall find vengeance from the Lord. He that revengeth shall find vengeance from the Lord. So when these people come and they put in hate, we don't hate nobody. We don't hate Batman. Like I said, Ella, we pray for these people. We got to pray for them. You with me? We have to pray for them that they find peace before it's too late. Keep reading. And he will surely keep his sins in remembrance.
Come on.
Forgive thy neighbor the hurt that he have done unto thee. So shall thy sins also be forgiven when thou prayest.
So I can't pray and ask for forgiveness if I can't forgive. Huh? So I'm not angry with Karen right now. You with me? The scope bigger than Karen. The scope right now is for my people that they have to let go the hate, the anger, anything that's holding them back, because it's going to stop them spiritually. It's going to grind them down. And that's the thing. That's where the infighting come from. That's where we're fighting against each other. And we can't see the big picture. We're like crabs in buckets. Read, please.
One man beareth hatred against another, and doth he seek pardon from the Lord?
And do it he seek pardon from the Lord. No, man, that can't make sense. That don't make no sense. We have to keep the doors open for reconciliation. Reconciliation requires two. I don't hate nobody, man. We're keeping it going. You get me? Esau is my brother. Yo, listen, I'll show love. Regardless, I have to do it. Because if I don't, when I pray, Lord, forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors, that becomes null. That stops me from entering the kingdom. That stops me from progressing. That stops me from developing, from growing, from evolving into light. Read.
All right, let me get back.
Verse
number 4. He showeth no mercy to a man, which is like himself. And doth he ask forgiveness for his own sins? If he that is but flesh nourish hatred, who will entreat for pardon of his sins?
Who is going to entreat for my sins? If I just nourish hate? Nah, man, I'm love, bro. I'm love personified. That's why Christ told us, man, pray for them, man. Just pray for them. You get me? Hey, let me tell you something. We as the nation of light have to pray for this earth. Like how Christ said, forgive them because they know not what they do. We have to pray for this earth. Pray for the earth, yo. We have to pray for them. Anyways, I yield with that.
Right? Let me say this also. It goes into, now that we've figured it out and are navigating through their traps, this is where the immigration came in at. Because now they need proxies to operate and undermine us. And come to find out, this is a Babylonian tactic. And I want to read this real quick so that people can understand where the H-1 visas and all that, we're going to universities and being flew out to America and England to get educated, where your Barack Obamas from Kenya and other countries was brought in under a Marxist ideology. Folks, this is a Babylonian indoctrination. They tried to do it to us during the time, that's right, of Daniel. Let's go there real quick, Elder. Let's go now to, I'm going to show you what they're doing. Esau isn't doing anything original. Being that he followed the pattern of Egypt and Babylon, he set the same systems up globally to keep his power intact, to keep their power intact. Let's go to Daniel 1 if you can, Elder Lawya, and let's start at around the third verse. Start at the third verse.
Yes, sir. The book of Daniel 1 and 3. And the king spake unto Ashpenaz, the master of the eunuchs, that he should bring certain of the children of Israel, and of the king's seed, and of the princes.
Read.
Children in whom was no blemish, but well favored and skillful in all wisdom, and cunning in knowledge.
Listen, so make sure they have that regal spirit. Make sure you get not skillful in wisdom too, but they also must look nice, because they're going to need these people to influence the rest to follow the ways of Babylon, folks. So get the best looking amongst their people and make sure they're high in wisdom. Read.
In understanding and cunning and knowledge.
Cunning and knowledge. Hold up. So make sure they're smart. Read.
And understanding science. And such as had ability in them to stand in the king's palace, in whom they might teach the learning and tongue of the Chaldeans.
And whom they might teach the learning and the tongue of the Chaldeans, folks. So when we fell under Babylonian captivity, they got the elite and the intelligent amongst our people, knowing that we are the salt of the earth, that no empire can thrive without the spirit of ingenuity that comes through us naturally. And I did the research on this, folks. There was a 3.5-year program that they wanted to utilize to indoctrinate us, to convince others of our people to now follow the ways of Nebuchadnezzar. This was a political school of indoctrination to control people. That's why you got your H-1 visas going in, where they bring strangers in and immigrants in and put them in political positions over us. It's the same model, but they use the best from other places to undermine us. And I'm telling you, they're doing it because they are upset with the gospel that is being proclaimed throughout the earth, where Judah began to wake up the 12 tribes throughout the earth. That is what immigration is all about. They needed a proxy. And now that they were now able to accomplish what they needed, especially after the jabs, because they needed our people in key positions in all these other cities to be the face of those who would roll out their programs. And for years, they would place others in our schools who were just happy to have a job from other places, while our children read at a 3rd and 4th grade level. And we never asked, what type of teacher would be proud of passing a student that cannot even read? And I can't do it now because I'm going to have to do it Friday. This is it's called the what? It's called the Marxist Manifesto. It's the Marxist Manifesto is what they're using people who look like us to utterly destroy our people, knowing that God is speaking through Judah to bring all the 12 tribes back together in the last days. The strategy, Marx's approach to strategy, the strength we had was family and core belief of God, and they studied us to undermine and utterly destroy our people to where there'll be nothing left of Judah. It was the Marxist approach to a strategy. And I'm going to talk about that this coming Friday. I'm going to go over the whole manifesto on Patreon. It's going to trip you all out that this plan is also in scripture, how they would undermine us at the very at the very end, where only what? I'm going to tell you this, that the Most High would have to protect Judah, or Judah would be utterly erased. And in the manifesto, they had to focus on convincing the woman that we, the black man, was the enemy. I'm going to tell you. And once they were able to finish it through Barack Obama, immigration, education, and then they used others to come in to administer the stuff they needed to administer so that we can't populate the way we would normally, where our women can't even hold children past a certain month. Soon as it was over, soon as they exercised this Marxist plan, they needed at least 20 years to implement it. Both of Barack Obama's administration, and they had to get in at least through who? The Biden administration, to get close to 20 years of finishing the Marxist plan that once it's rolling, there's no what? There's no turning the wheel back if they can get at least 16 to 20 years of Marxist ideology in any country. Once they were able to fulfill this, then what happened? You notice they cut off all the jobs and with people who was educated and all that, because they don't need them no more. It's finished. And they started sending back all the black people who they were going to use as proxies, because they've done their job. The church is utterly destroyed. The black church institution is utterly destroyed. Our people are disjointed. See? Our people are sick because a lot of these people who came into position was pushing the pharmaceuticals in high positions of education who are from other places. And a lot of our people did it who didn't even know that they were actually harming their own demographic. It's the Marxist manifesto, folks. They steamrolled it in with Barack Obama. And through the family courts, which is Marxist, they utterly eviscerated, destroyed the black family, where there's no trust between the black man and black woman anymore. And they knew that there will be no way to retract any of this, that that it can only become worse. And now that they don't need our people no more, they're threatening people to send them back because they have what? They have successfully destroyed the cohesiveness Judah once had in America. And that tell you how deep Judah was to be able to withstand all of this by himself. That they need all this help from the outside, every country, to come in to undermine us. But guess who's still with us? Christ. Christ. That's why this woman was frustrated, because no matter what they've tried, we still survive. Fair use. I'm going to put this out there one last time, and then we're going to open up the lines for a couple of seconds, and then we'll break down. You can, if you want to come in, 445-888-2759, text, and we'll call you in if you have anything to say on this program. Let's hear it all the way once more. It was people like this, folks, Marxist, socialist. They're sending the people back now. Guess what? TPS was always meant to be temporary, because they only used them until they would have successfully destroyed Judah in certain areas within the United States. Now, we're still holding on, but they think that they have controlled the dynamics of our society to a manageable number. As to why they're sending the others back now. Fair use. Listen to this.
Reasons white people hate black people is because we cannot tolerate black joy. We cannot tolerate black intelligence. We cannot tolerate black beauty. We cannot tolerate black confidence. We cannot tolerate black camaraderie. We cannot tolerate anything that frees a black person. There's a level of racism that I think hits differently for black people than it does for Asian people or Hispanic people or Middle Eastern people or Native Americans even. Each one of those things that people think regarding other races are different with black people, I think. Because again, we don't like black people to be educated. We don't like them to be successful. We don't want black judges. We don't want anything for black people that doesn't directly affect and entertain us. So we can have a black nanny. We can have a black house cleaner. We can have a black teacher. We can have a black coach. We can have black players. But only for the specific things that we feel comfortable with. I think about all those sweet children that have been killed, murdered, when they go out with their white friends. And I think that as much as the trauma of slavery comes down through the DNA, I think also the cruelty of slavery, the desire to hurt, the desire to steal and kill and humiliate and torment and disappear black people is what comes down through the DNA. I think when you do something like that for long enough and you pass it down for the many years that slavery and enslaved people were in chains, that is an instinct with us, cruelty. And I think you can see it in many videos. All the white women and white men that are telling black kids and black families to get the hell out of here, you don't belong. We just don't want you to have more than us, honey. We just don't want you to be prettier. We don't want you to be the beauty standard. We don't want you to be judges or anything like that. We want you to be below us, beneath us. And we've tried so hard to keep you down, and we failed so badly. Because like Maya Angelou said, still you rise. We may hate you, we may beat you, we may do those things, and it makes us crazy that you keep coming back and getting better. We can't stay.
Boy, like my grandfather say, that right there, that really got in her crawl right there. That little bit just got in her crawl. She's, you know, I mean, she said this with a little. She had a little oomph on it, right? Hold on, let me see. Let me go back here. Hold on.
Stand it. I don't know why that is. Badly. Because like Maya Angelou said, still you rise. We may hate you, we may beat you, we may do those things, and it makes us crazy that you keep coming back and getting better. We can't stand it. I don't know why that is. I think I heard somebody say that white people are the ones that have the ancestors that were closely related to the apes. And I believe that. We are so similar to Cro-Magnon man, Neanderthals. We're fucking pale monsters. I really hate being white sometimes. I'm super ashamed. I think things like, sorry, I don't get good sleep right now. I think when I see a young black kid with a bunch of white kids, or like I try to watch for things that are happening, and I was thinking to myself, you know, if I saw a black kid hopping in a vehicle with a bunch of white kids, what would I do? I mean, you know, I could do anything. I could get the black kid to come over and say, hey, I think I know your mother, come here. And then to say, you better get away from all them white boys. But I had a brown friend of mine tell me that that was silly and that it is savior-ish. Ooh, and I don't like that. White savior. Ugh. And then I still do it. I have it in me that black people need my help. Mexican people need my help.
No, thank you.
Maybe they do, maybe they don't. If they do, oh, please forgive me. I'm so sorry. If they do, they'll ask. That's one thing. They'll ask. And I'll know instinctually if I'm out and about and something's happening. I can just pay attention and see if there's a way for me to step to whatever the white person is doing. I don't know. We'll see. I think the cruelty lives in us, and I don't mean it like we don't have a choice. Of course we have a choice, but it comes down as instinct, and unless we work desperately, unless we work very, 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 very hard for very, very, very many years, we will never be rid of it. We'll never be rid of it anyway, but anyway, that's my thought.
Yeah.
Whatever it's worth.
It was girls like this and professors and teachers like this in liberal schools where our people went that would point out our sisters and say, we're having this meeting today with freshmen. If y'all like to come in, you know, as far as to be able to, you know, to deal with some activism when it comes to women's rights or whatever the case is. It's people like this who've been targeting our people.
Right.
To indoctrinate us against our own interests, to only send us back in the community to blow it up based on what? Karen telling us that with this degree, you know better than your own people. People like this. Okay, what I did was, and guess what, folks? Knowing is half the battle, like I told you all earlier. We cannot trust their systems. And guess what? They know it. They know it now. So since they know it, you see all the Democrats, Ellen DeGeneres, and all these degenerate, and others left the country when Trump was voted in. All the AID money, all the funds that went out for nonprofits and all that, they know that our people cannot be programmed like we once were, and now they don't need the liberals no more. So they've taken all the funding from them too. So I'm going to tell you where it stands. Going forward, a lot of people don't understand where it's about to go. They made it where, guess what? if you were on the system, it's each man for himself, without help from the system. That's where it is going, and it's not coming back. If you were on the system, dependent on anything when it came to the system, they're taking it all back and saying, guess what? If you're truly the children of God, let's see if he's going to save you through this without our help. And you know what? And that's when our God say, well, okay. Game on. How many of you, of my children, want to win? How many of you would like to get down with my son and become a real soldier in Christ's army, folks, as to why the ministry's here? Because the weapons of our warfare aren't carnal. Everyone knew it would be a matter of time before they pull the rug right from under us. Because the only way they'll give us something if we can actually respect them as the God or the people we need to eat. We're eating from the master's hand is the only thing they respect. And if we are not going to eat from the master's hand and respect them as the authority and God, they're taking everything away. Folks, that's what we're living under right now. The socialism and the Marxist ideology is fully entrenched, and that's where it goes next. At the same time, a war breaks out that brings it back here to Babylon that totally disturbed all of society, all of the inner cities, and all of that, where only those who are prepared for what's about to go down, survive through it. Only those who are prepared for this moment. Christ has drawn a line in the sand. There is no going back. The old traditional way, and hopes that, okay, first of all, if I was to look to the men and say, men, it's time to follow the Most High, get up with the commandments, put all menial issues to the side, and prepare together, because guess what? The men are going to be needed to get our people through this, period. That's what I would say. If to the men, come together, lay all differences to the side for the common cause of self-preservation according to the Almighty. Women, I would say, sisters, the gig is up. Feminism has run its course, and you're out there on your own, which was the plan the whole time. The only way women are going to make it through this is to submit. Okay? And I know that's a tough word, but guess what? Submitting to men is an extension. It's an extension of the God you claim you believe in. If you can't submit to man, it's impossible to submit to God. Okay? It's impossible, because that's the model he set up for himself, and it's called the image of God, which so happens to be men. So the Marxists came up with an ideology to where they could program through psychology women to think that men are the enemy. And this is why women are in rebellion. And they think it's just rebellion with men. No, it's rebellion against God. Women are going to have to submit to survive. Period. Period. That's it. What is submit? Submit is exactly that. Your will is to help meet a man's plan. Men are going to have to stand with a plan. And it doesn't matter the status, because all the money is about to go flatline. So based on how much a man making all of that, that goes out the window in a society that's riddled under war. That's totally decimated under war. There is no status. There is no finances. There is no job to go to. A man is going to be like pure gold, not just because he's rare, because you're going to need one to survive. The enemy has already been led in to the country, the enemies. They had 4 years to strategically place these people where they would be to come after the people during the war. It's already here. And folks, it's not just the United States. They did it to England before the United States. But I know this, Christ is with us. We're going to baptize. We're going to proclaim liberty to the saints and uphold Christ, Yeshua, as the anointed king who sits on the throne. And as an extension of his throne, we're going to continue to baptize and bring souls to him as we tear down the lies that have controlled and have destroyed the children of God throughout the earth. I know Rawchaa had to go, and yes, Elder Lawya and myself is a little under the weather. It's kind of a little throat thing going on, but hey, we was able to stand nonetheless.
Gone.
But I think it's time for us to get some rest until we break down this Marxist manifesto this coming Friday. All right. Now, what I can do, because we have 10 minutes, if somebody want to come on and have something to say, now is their time. I'm going to put the link in the Zoom. And if you have something to say it right now. Someone asked me, where is the link to that particular white woman? Well, someone sent that to me, and I had AC cut it. He spliced it and sent me it. I don't know, maybe it was on TikTok or whatever the case is, but I'll look for the source. All right. For those who like to come in real quick, we have something to say on our class tonight. Now is the opportunity to come in. I can only do it for like 5-10 minutes. We thank you for all your support. $sign GOCC report. If you have Cash App, go to gatheringofchrist.org under donate. We need your support to bolster the ministry and to set up churches in areas where there's no churches. So please support the work. Okay? All right. Please support the work. None of this is possible without your contributions. Shalom, elders. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay. Shalom, Andre, how are you?
Hey.
Okay. Please make sure there's nothing playing in the background, please.
Yes, sir.
Talk to me.
Yeah, so I've been speaking to Elder Baruch. Well, we don't speak on phone, but we speak by text. But yeah, I missed a few baptism days, but I will be making it on September.
Okay, well, just stay close, Andre. All praise be to the Most High. Stay on the broadcast, and we'll be announcing the next mass baptism soon. Okay?
Yeah. Elder Baruch said it was gonna be like September the 13th.
Okay, well,
yeah.
I didn't put out a date yet, but I'll let you know.
Yeah, see, that's what he was saying. He was saying it was gonna be like during the Feast of Tabernacles.
Well, do me a favor, because I need to really focus on the broadcast and the content of what we're talking about tonight. So just stay tuned. I'll make sure you have the baptism date, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, my brother. Shalom.
Yep.
All right, what we have to do, because I know there's some excitement that comes with conversating, but we have to make sure that if we make a point, let's make room for others who would come in, okay? Please. All right. Let's see here. Okay, I see we have Sunshine. Let me bring Sunshine in a couple of moments, but I got one other person here. Who we got here? All right. 954 area code who just called. Right. Let's see. 954. I just did that one. This is 803. I would like to come in. Okay, 803. Bringing you in now. Shalom, the Gathered of Christ Church. You're live with On the Watch. What say you? Your name and location. 803 on the watch. Okay. Let's get the next person. She had a question, but let's get the next one. I think this is Sunshine. Let's see. Hey, what's going on, Sunshine? Talk to us. Blessings. Talk to us.
Okay. Elders, wow. It's in our DNA. What all people know that we carry in our bloodline, that's the difference put in us from the beginning, is a continual reminder of the nation's prophetic fall and our rulership and soon rise under Christ. This makes us a direct and never-ending target for those who have reaped the benefits on the Esau's kingdom, including Esau himself, and these same benefits only obtained in prophecy by the sword to provoke us to jealousy. And the way we walk, talk, move, laugh, look, ancestral soul, sing, create, and be a light unto the world is impossible to ignore by all of this, because we are the salt of the earth, and without us the earth has no savor. Yet knowing our very existence, creativity, ingenuity, and love for the Most High in Christ, that shows our connection to godliness and importance in leading the world through righteousness, we are still considered grievous to look upon. And many are unwilling to shake off the jealousies and envyings of us, even when we are in our poorest state. We are able to rebuke the devil and come back to the Most High and return to our root and own our tree, easily grafted back in as the originals and saints of that tree, to who we belong, and the promises, the adoptions, and the covenants belong. For we are the children of Israel among all children upon the face of the earth, both to stand in our mercifulness as well as our righteousness and judgment. For we were told to be perfect as our Father in heaven is perfect. And under Christ we love Ahaya with all our heart, mind, and soul. And we love our neighbors as ourselves, Jews, Gentiles alike, who love Christ and keep Ahaya's commandments. And as much as light within us, we remain wise, harmless, but bold to stand, at the same time peaceable with all men. And this way we move takes heavenly intelligence given from the throne, a higher spirit and loving guidance. Our very essence shows the world our royalty, responsibility as carriers of the law of our Father, and confidence that regardless of what others have done to us in this world, we will follow our God, and his voice only will we hear. Oh. And that's all I wanted to say, Elder.
There it is.
That's all I wanted to say.
There goes Sunshine. Praise the Most High. Bless you.
Praise the Most High. Bless you.
Bless you. Bless you.
Bless you.
All right.
Praise the Most High.
And believe it or not, she wrote all that down. Thank you, Elder, for your time. This concludes our broadcast. Babylon is falling. And you know it's falling because one time it was Judah who was holding it up. But we're coming back to the Most High, and within Babylon, we're building Christ's kingdom amongst his people. And you know what? We will soon see Zion. We're the children of Israel, and we are back. Shalom. Shalom.
Shalom. Yes, sir. Shalom.
I am gathering in Israel. Asha in Colombia, Ruben from Australia, Issachar, the Mexicans. That's who we be Judah, the Negroes, Benjamin, the West Indians, Levi, the Haitians, Manasseh, the Cubans, Ephraim from Puerto Rico, and Valley from the Isles of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel. Zebulon from Panama, Gad, the North American Indians, Simeon, the Dominicans. Our highest gathering Israel.